Continuing with our 1-point perspective galleries part 2. In pencil, draw any other furniture you would like to add, and then draw the art that will fill the canvases hanging on the walls. So you can research art pieces if you like, or just make up the art that you want to go on it. It could be your own creation. I just erased my little marks for the wall, floor, and the vanishing point because we don't need those anymore. And I've decided I'd like to add a little chandelier up at the top. I could have done like a painting on the ceiling, like in the Sistine Chapel or something like that, but I want a funky chandelier, so I'm going with like a mid-century modern looking design. So yeah, you can add lights up there if you want, or whatever. You can put track lighting in so the art could be seen better. Your call. I'm going to speed it up now. But you'll see me add my artwork on the canvases. So my back one, I did The Scream by Edvard Munch because that felt pretty appropriate. In this one, I'm drawing a portrait of Vincent van Gogh as he was a tortured soul, and it's just kind of how I'm feeling. And then I'm doing Andy Warhol's Campbell soup can over here, so just kind of sketching that out real rough. And then a Jackson Pollock over there, the splatter painting. I'm also adding 2 benches in the middle, still using the rules of 1-point perspective. I can kind of see where my vanishing point is, so I'm still lining up those diagonal lines with that. So 2 benches for gallery goers to sit at. And now we are going to trace our pencil lines with marker. I'm going to use my thin markers. And I will try to freehand it, but probably going to end up using the ruler. So I'm just going to be tracing in some basic colors. So I'm tracing my benches black because I'm going to color them in with a color pencil black. So that's what I'm doing there. And you will see me end up grabbing the ruler because I get a little unsure of my shaky hands. And yeah, so tracing with marker. I like to do that because it creates a sort of force field for me to keep my coloring within. It really does help. So I'm going to trace my floorboards now, and this is where I'm going to use the ruler because I know I'm going to mess it up. So I'm just lining it up on the lines I already drew. You do have to be careful when you do it with a ruler that it doesn't drag the color, like smear it. And adding the little like nails in the wood for a little detail. Tracing my chandelier. I want it to look like a brassy color, so I'm using like yellows and tans. Now I'm tracing my canvases in gray just to keep it more neutral and tracing that. So I'm now going to erase any stray pencil marks. So taking my eraser, I know the marker's dry. If I do it while the marker's wet, it's going to smear the marker, but it's dry now. So I'm lightly just erasing any stray pencil marks. I'm not going to erase my artwork, just the pencil marks around the frame and in the chandelier where I was a little more sketchy. All right, and then you are going to be ready to continue adding color. So now you might not get to this part yet, and that's okay. Some people did start coloring it all in class today, so I'm not requiring that to be done yet, but you're going to see me here. I'm only going to bother coloring this one on the back wall. Because technically we shouldn't be finished with these yet. We're going to have one more class to work on them. So some people started coloring, others didn't. So have no fear if you did not start coloring. So I'm coloring in my Scream painting to look as similar to the colors that Edvard Munch used. So I actually have a picture on my computer that I'm looking at to try to match up the colors as best I can. And I know I said I was going to use colored pencils, but you know what? I just decided to embrace the marker here. So going with the marker. And it's not at all a perfect representation of that actual painting, but you can look at it and tell what I was trying to do. So it gets the job done. decided to add a little frame around it, so I'm adding that frame and coloring it in just to really make it look like it's hanging up in a gallery. And I'm using the color pencil to color that back wall. Sometimes galleries have white walls, but a couple years ago I went into a gallery with a blue wall and I just really liked it, so I'm going to make my galleries have blue walls. Next week, have the same drawing with you and whatever you were coloring with. Again, it shouldn't be finished, as you saw mine was not complete. See you then.